Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of World News by Billie, episode 4, new. This is my third YouTube channel. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share on YouTube and Rumble. Today's date, April 8, 2023. I'm getting ready for Easter, and all this week and next week, Easter celebrations. It's a good thing. He is risen. Okay, we'll talk about the U.S. military. Another batch of leaked secret info from the Pentagon. And revolution now, baby. France, Israel, plus. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, A Christeforou, on Beforeitsnews, Benjamin Fulford, Larry Johnson on Steve Quayle's site, Daily Mail, Gadget, Get, Hal Turner. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we've had a second batch of top secret information leaked from the Pentagon. Amazing. The Pentagon is not denying that the information is real. It's just talking about doing an investigation of who leaked it. First, we'll begin with A Christeforou. He's a journalist in Greece, talking about a recent press conference by Blinken, the U.S. Secretary of State, currently the U.S. Secretary of State, talking about a spring offensive for Ukraine. And now it's coming out and it's substantiated from the Pentagon. What many truthers have known since the beginning of this operation, and that is that the U.S. military and NATO have been actively involved inside Ukraine, and now we understand inside Russia also. Against Russia. Hey, Blinken, when were you, or JB, the actor puppet avatar for the deep state inside the U.S., are anyone associated with the Congress we have going on or presenting themselves to be our Congress? When were any individuals associated with the avatar government we have in the United States? When were any of you going to release details to the mainstream media, to the normies among us? Hey, yeah, we're sending your sons and daughters to fight Russia inside Ukraine. Oh, you didn't know? Well, how about we're shipping every dollar we can out of the United States to Ukraine, which then is funneled back to us via FTX and other avenues. Yeah, we all in the deep state, we need to be paid with U.S. taxpayer money. Okay. So now it's just openly coming out, these released documents. We believe there's a concerned citizen, we believe part of the White Hat groups, that's working inside the Pentagon, that's releasing information to the U.S. people and other people around the world. Okay, so Blinken, the current U.S. Secretary of State, said in a recent interview, yeah, we have the U.S., we have two goals in helping Ukraine. Well, we're not giving out one of the real goals, and that's to destroy inside the United States, the American people, the U.S. government, U.S. banks, and so on. But it's happening. Okay. All right, so he's saying the alleged two goals the U.S. has in this proxy conflict in Ukraine versus Russia is, one, for Ukraine to get back all of the territory they've lost to Russia, which is Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia, Kherson, and Crimea. And number two is to support Ukraine, yeah, with our money. And, well, hey, we've been sending your sons and daughters over there, too. And According to Gene Decode, maybe as many as 80,000 American U.S. military sons and daughters have been killed inside Ukraine. Reckon they are buried now inside cemeteries in Poland, set up to look like Arlington. Okay. So yeah, hey, we were going to tell you American moms and dads all about it when it suited our deep state priorities. Yeah, that's going on. Okay. Now we have this. Also, this new information coming out about the NATO and the U.S., and I'll detail some of those, the new information coming out, was to split the Russian forces. This is coming from A Christeforou. But hey, let's talk about what are you going to do for the 50,000 North Koreans that recently went there. And then we've got that 500,000 Chinese PMC, we understand. And oh, let's not forget Iran, who, according to Mike from Around the World, have a 1 million member military. Now, I've put this out before, and I had pushback. I like pushback from my Patriot subscribers saying, I don't think that Iran could have a 1 million person military. It doesn't fit with their population numbers. I submit to you, my major in college was science and my minor was social science. And I did a lot of research into demographics, because if you're going to research an area, you need to know people's numbers, and that way you can predict what are their educational needs going to be, needs for their agriculture, to do urban planning. So I'm really familiar with the ins and outs of not only the U.S., but other nations in terms of demographics they put out. They tend to put out numbers that fit their needs rather than being accurate. So, and I understand Iran, from multiple sources, has one of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world. So that's going on. So I'm saying, A Christeforou saying that NATO and the U.S. and part of their strategies, it's now coming out, hey, it used to be a proxy war, but yeah, we're really there. Okay. All right, so this is our spring offensive from the Pentagon and NATO. Okay. To split the Russian forces, I'm just asking, what about the 50,000 North Koreans, the 500,000 Chinese, the 1 million Iran military? What about that? Do you have plans for that? Okay. Now, we have this from Hal Turner. Now, Hal Turner was with the FBI for about 15 years, and he also did overseas work with the CIA on domestic and foreign terrorism, and has a lot of good contacts. Now, Hal Turner is putting this out. This the New York Times had received some leaked classified documents and put them out. I submit to you, the New York Times put out these leaked documents from the secret information from the Pentagon. The New York Times put that information out under the guidance of the White Hats, the Earth Alliance, President Trump. Yep. Okay. Saying that, and the Pentagon is they're not denying the leaks. They're just saying they're going to investigate. Now we have yeah, secret U.S. information that was released, a second batch, Friday. Today is the 8th, so April 7th, Friday. On the internet and social media, I think I saw Twitter. Okay, so that's going on. And now we'll get some details on what was released. We have Steve Quayle, Daily Mail. The second batch of the secret info talks about China, talks about Ukraine, talks about the Middle East and the U.S. and NATO plans. And the Pentagon confirms Thursday, April 6th, that the information is authentic, but that some of it could have been doctored. So, yeah, we'll see. So there's 100 documents that were released and they said, according to Larry Johnson, former CIA, he trained for about 25 years, the U.S. military and intel. Larry Johnson said the documents were marked secret and non-form, meaning they were not to be released to foreign nations. So we're having here that they were to be released to Five Eyes: U.S., Ukraine, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. And included in the documents were maps and charts. And they are, what was released were photos of the documents, not the actual documents. And they were also giving estimates in numbers of troops and battalions. So we have that going on. And so we also had included in these photo documents estimate for the number who were killed in action. That'll be in the Bakhmut campaign. And we have for Ukraine 16 to 17,500. And no, this is Russia. So Russia, according to these photoed documents, dead, killed in action in the Bakhmut campaign for Russia is 16 to 17,500. For Ukraine, the number is 71,500. So that's included in these documents that were released to the New York Times, Twitter, plus other social media sites. Okay, now we have this. So now, Larry Johnson, and I'll list Larry's site for you. You can go there and look at he's former CIA. All right. Now, Larry says these are authentic documents. We know they're photos, but they're authentic. And some had said it was Russian disinformation. And some said, no, Russia had a spy in the military. Larry Johnson believes it's not Russia, and it's not a Russian spy, but rather a white hat who has somehow had access to the Pentagon. Or it could be that, some type of surveillance, because they can do surveillance now with little things that look like flies that can go into a building and record. So something like that. But he's saying these are authentic, and he believes that they say on them not formed, so they weren't to be released to all foreign nations. no foreign, U.S. eyes only. And also, he's saying that this is new to me, training. Now, we've been hearing that NATO and the U.S. are supplying equipment to Ukraine, and they're also doing training on these vehicles. Well, this is new information coming out from these leaked documents that a majority of the training for NATO is being done inside Germany. Now, we have Ramstein U.S. military base there, so maybe that's the location for the training. Okay. So Larry Johnson doesn't believe it's a deliberate leak by the U.S. military. He doesn't believe it's disinfo by Russia. And he believes it came from inside the U.S. military or the White Hats. So, yeah. So that's going on. Now, we have some more details on the leaked information coming out. So in the first batch, we found out about troop numbers, and it is to be 12 BDEs, brigades, BDEs. And the U.S. size for a BDE is about 3,000 to 5,000 troops. Now, so there were to be 12, and now it appears that 9 of the 12 were to come from the U.S., and they are, so 6 of the 9 from the U.S. were to be ready by March 31, and the other 3 of the 9 of the U.S. brigades were to be ready by April 30. And ready. They have to be in place. They have to have their equipment going. And these are from these documents leaked, these are the equipment for the 9 BDEs, brigades for the U.S. So these are the equipment that the U.S. is going to supply for the, so if they're doing 9 brigades, I submit times 5,000 per brigade, that's a minimum of 45,000. We're talking about now. We don't know in the past how many of our sons and daughters have already been committed by this deceitful avatar government and the shadow U.S. military. They're not telling the American people. Okay, for equipment for these 9 brigades, 253 tanks, 381 mechanized vehicles, 480 motor vehicles, 147 pieces of artillery, 571 U.S. armored HMMWV, some type of vehicle. And the plan that was put together on February 28 was to have these 12 brigades, 9 of which are coming from the U.S., ready in Ukraine by April 30. So that's going on. So it's believed and speculated from these leaked documents that the numbers for the U.S. NATO spring offensive versus Russia is a maximum of 60,000 troops. Okay. Now, I had this from a Patriot subscriber talking about, as here's the U.S. California, Texas, Florida, Wisconsin. On April 7, that would have been yesterday, about 10 in the morning, I saw train loads of tanks, U.S. military tanks passing by. And this was in Pepin, Wisconsin. So yeah, we see tanks are moving in the U.S. And now we have this. So we have from Steve Quayle's site, the source for this was Gadget. It's talking about planes. And this will be the largest move by the U.S. National Guard of planes in the history of the U.S. And it's 100, and they're going to Germany, and we would speculate Ramstein. And they're sending air defender. No, they're sending F-35. They're sending the Gen 5 F-35 Lightning II fighters, F-16s, F-15C Eagle, the A-10 Thunderbolt attack aircraft. And they're sending them to Germany. And this is going to be part of a NATO exercise that's going to take place across Europe, with the practice being to assemble all these different troops across Europe and move into Ukraine. And the name of the exercise is Air Defender 2023 exercise, and it's going to take place June 12 to 22. So let me get this correct. You're going to ship all this equipment and all these planes, and then you're going to have an exercise assembling all the troops and invading Ukraine, and call it a practice. June 12 through the 22nd. Okay, now we have this. So we have from Hal Turner. We know that recently, here's Ukraine, Russia. Now Russia, here's Belarus. Russia extends all the way over here to a border with Finland. And oh, we had to rush and get Finland into NATO. And then what did we do? Before the ink was dried on the paperwork, we moved mobile nuke launchers right on the border, Finland to Russia. Yep, we did that. So it's right here. Let's see. This is Vyborg, Russia. And over this way is St. Petersburg. Yeah, we're getting all set up. And now we're hearing about protest in the Netherlands, in France, in Israel, in Switzerland. People are, the people in Switzerland said, "Are you kidding me? My money in the bank has been stolen." Yeah, they're going after it. Now, we have this information coming out from Benjamin Fulford, a Canadian journalist who's lived in Japan for decades. Talking about so Benjamin Fulford, talking about there was a recent meeting of a group called the 300, which is, we know governments, and we know above that it's deep state, and we know about the Rockefeller family and the Rothschilds, and then above that we have royals, and we have other groups. Okay, this is called a Committee of 300 global meeting, a group up here. Now, Benjamin Fulford is saying that this group of 300 contacted the secret Asian family groups. Now, a few months ago, Jim Willie, PhD economist from Costa Rica, was talking about secret Asian family groups, talking about the white dragon family and the golden dragon family. And also, yeah, I'll do that about the stars. All right. So there's a few months ago, and Jim was just talking about, economics, the white dragon family, the golden dragon family. So I had to download from God. These families are real because normal, the average American citizen, what are you talking about? Secret Asian family groups? Okay. So these are family groups that go back thousands of years, and they are in a agreement with the White Hats. We're familiar with the Earth Alliance and President Trump and President Putin and Chairman Xi and other world leaders who want to get rid of the current banking system we have and bring in just gold and silver-backed money. So at any rate, God impressed upon me these families are real. Now, the stars, God put this out, I don't know, a few months ago. First, he was going to wind up constellations like a gym locker. And then I came out with another video that gave details, which constellations. And all right, so the next part of the star constellations that God is going to be moving around is called Dragon 12. Do I know what that means? No, I don't yet. Okay, so at any rate, Benjamin Fulford is reporting this. Recently, there was a meeting of the 300 elites, deep state, and they wanted the secret Asian family groups to agree with them and work with them to change the banking system, get rid of the IMF, the World Bank, that's controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. And the secret Asian families have agreed. And now this also means there will be a new banking system. It will be a world revolution. And currently in the BRICS, this new economics group going forward, who are no longer accepting the U.S. dollar for international trade, called BRICS, includes Russia, China, India, and now Mexico and Cuba and Middle East and Iran and Saudi Arabia and soon Turkey and Syria. So it's going on. Represents 4.8 billion people. And we're seeing this. And Benjamin Fulford is reporting what's going on in France and Israel, which fits the model I predicted if the American people ever had to rise up in revolution inside the U.S. And I said what we would see inside the U.S. is a disintegration of both law enforcement and military who would agree with the people. And that's what we're seeing in other nations. So in France, now we have the people rising up versus their government. And they've been saying for weeks, Macron, where is the guillotine? And now they're saying the whole French government, where are the guillotines? All right. So the police are siding with the people. And the people are tired of this evil deep state, a group who do not worship God and who are engaged in trafficking of young humans and other things. That's going on, and the French people are awake, and they're saying no more. And now we have what's going on in Israel. In Israel, we have the people rising up, plus we have the military siding with the people, engaging in a coup. This will take down Benjamin Netanyahu and the other deep state players. And the people in Israel are of the same mindset as the people in France, who recognize these are evil and corrupt individuals trying to lead our government. And inside Israel, the government is trying to destroy the court system. Well, we know inside the U.S., money has done its this duty inside the U.S. But in Israel, the government is trying to destroy the court system and then become dictators inside Israel. And oh yeah, if you mention the name of Jesus Christ, you go to jail for 2 years. We, the government in Israel, will tell you which religion you can practice and how you can practice it. You have no rights. And furthermore, women will have to wear head coverings, can't be politicians, and your husband and other male relatives have the right to beat you. So I've said this before, women of Israel, rise up, kick some booty. Say, we're not putting up with that. And we have other things going on inside Canada, similar to, and Benjamin Fulford was also bringing this out, that soon and very soon to go down will be JB and the Castro's son Trudeau inside Canada. Yeah, people around the world are uniting. And I believe that they are uniting in prayer and common family values around the world. And so a short prayer God gave me, designed for world news. This is from Psalm 67, King James Version. The name of it is Harvest. Father, Shepherd of nations who are aligned with you, we pray. Bring true justice and health and prosperity to all of your flock in your pastures. We understand and embrace the harvest time predicted of your truth, Father, prevailing upon earth. And we thank you, God the Father, God the Son, Jesus, and many call Yeshua, and God the Holy Spirit. And I say to my family and friends, remain steady out there, continue to pray. God is in charge, and He is on the move. I love you, and I'll see you soon.